video is brought to you by coriander. Coriander. Put it in anything to make something that was good taste terrible. Today we're gonna make halloumi. Now I've already made this one once. I'm not sure I'd describe it as halloumi. It's a really good spreadable cheese. It tastes pretty good. So we'll just see how the consistency goes. I guess you could fry it if you wanted to, which is kind of what you do with halloumi, but let's see. Anyway, we're gonna prep this now because there's a little bit of waiting time. And then we're gonna come back later and actually make it. So what you're gonna need some nuts. This one calls for cashews. We only need 80 grams of them. So I've already half eaten this. There was 300 grams of cashews in here about a day ago. There is currently 200 grams. So I've eaten 120 grams. We only need 80 grams of that, so that's fine. And this was $8 for 300 grams, so you could probably make like 4 batches of this cheese. So it's actually really economical, like it's only $2 worth of nuts per go. So we're gonna weigh out 80 grams of cashews. All of the ingredients for this you can very easily get at the bulk food store, the little pay and weigh and pay places. So that's kind of why I'm showing you this. You don't need to buy this whole kit. You can literally just buy the individual ingredient. There's my cashews. Now, if you have more time, you can soak these in just cold water for about 8 hours. But the super secret trick is to soak them in hot water for about 4 hours. And I usually change it halfway through. So after about an hour or two and the water's started to go cold, I'll just drain them and fill it back up again with hot water. The other ingredients you're gonna need are tapioca starch, tapioca flour. That's gonna help to be a bit of a thickening agent. We need cheese salt. Now, I actually haven't looked up what the hell cheese salt is, but on this it says salt contains no iodine additives. Iodine's really important for your diet. I always buy iodized table salt, but apparently it's no good for cheese making. So, this says no iodine additives, making it suitable for home cheese making, preserving, and sausage making. So that's the thing. And the last thing we want is agar powder, or agar powder. This is a vegan or a vegetarian gelatin alternative. So this is gonna be a setting agent. So this is gonna thicken it, this is gonna set it, because you put it in the fridge afterwards. And olive oil, is there any other thing you need? So, for 5 ingredients, it's pretty straightforward. So right now I'm gonna go soak my cashews and we'll come back in a couple of hours and do the rest. I should mention I'm wearing a hat because I couldn't be bothered doing my hair. Some time has elapsed. I've got a loaf of bread on the rise and my nuts are sufficiently soaked. You know when your cashews are done, you should be able to kind of squeeze them in your hand pretty easily, and they should kind of just crumb a little bit apart. So they've been sitting in hot water for a couple of hours now and we're all good to go. Talk amongst yourselves. It's fine, it's fine. Blender. Where the bloody hell did I put it? Right, I have a blender. I'm going to grab my nuts. I'm going to joust them in there. This is a really straightforward case of shove everything in a blender and mix. Behind me on the stove, I've just got a little pan that's heating up. You want a low to moderate heat. We don't want it really hot. We only want to take this mix to 60 degrees on the stove after we've blended it, so not too hot. Grab my blender. Let's get the rest of our ingredients. So I've got my 80 grams of soaked cashews, half a cup of water. Shove in your half a cup of water. Isn't this exciting? You get to watch me read a recipe. 1.5 tablespoons tapioca starch. 1, 2, a bit, 3. Not gonna lie, before you cook this, and even afterwards, it does taste a little bit like tapioca flour. So I reckon if you put in, actually I might try, I'm gonna put in a bit of smoked paprika And maybe if I have some dill, that could be nice as well. So it's a pretty neutral taste. So herbs will take really nicely to this. But if you have it just as is, it's still pretty okay. It's alright. So just need 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Zhuzh that in there. 1, 2, 3. Incredibly accurately measured. Cheese salts. Half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon. I think I have a half a teaspoon, so I'm freestyling it. That's about half a teaspoon. And then half a tablespoon of agar. So we put this in the blender. We're gonna blend it for maybe a minute, maybe 2. It says until it starts to thicken, so it's really a little bit of the heat from the blender in combination with the tapioca starch. That'll be what starts to thicken it. So let's get my half teaspoon of agar. Actually, I'm gonna go for a slightly bit more because last time I reckon it could have been firmer. So I'm gonna do like 1 and like a quarter. I'm gonna see if this makes it any more of a solid once we've cooled it. Shove it in our blender and we're gonna blend. The instruction says blend, what does it say? Blend until a thick paste is formed. It has viscosity to it. Yeah, that's probably thicker than last time. Last time it was kind of just like a semi-thick smoothie. That's pretty, you can't really see it, but it's pretty, yeah, no, you really can't see it. Let's heat this now. Welcome to the stove. So my pan is, we've only got a little one because we only need a small surface area. And the stove's on 3 out of 10, because that means a lot of things. Here's what it looks like. It's kind of, like it's pretty, it's not, you know, it's running slowly down the back of a spatula. I don't know what's the consistency of. Something. Oh, it's very floury. Actually, I said I was going to put in some herbs, didn't I? I'll do that in a sec. So I'm just going to shove this into my pan. Now, for this bit, you're going to need a thermometer, because you need to be pretty precise. We want to keep this mixture moving the entire time. Oh, hey Seb. Sabrina, my cat's come to join me. We want to keep it moving the entire time it's in the pan so it doesn't get like lumpy. We need the heat to activate the agar, and it's also going to start to activate the tapioca flour as well. It's already probably too hot. You're just going to turn it down a bit. So I've already got some lumps, so let's work these lumps out. My lumps, my lumps, my lumps. Oh, I don't want cheesy lumps. I did start from pretty much a cool pan last time, not this hot, so maybe that's something to do. Don't start from a hot pan. Don't do what David just did. It's already at 60 degrees. So it's already at the temperature that we want. Quickly go to my cupboard. I'm gonna whack in some smoked paprika, and I'm gonna put in some pepper as well. I like a bit of pepper. So, normally, if you did this properly, you want to heat it slowly up to 60 degrees. And then once it's at 60 degrees, you just want to keep stirring it for a minute or 2 until it kind of gets this consistency. This is our type consistency. I'm gonna have a sneaky taste because I want to see what those extra flavors are like. I reckon I could do with more paprika. I also reckon I could do with a bit of salt. So this bit's all me ad-libbing. I'm just making this up now.
So now we're going to take it, working this for a couple minutes more. Keep moving around, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. I'm going to taste.
That's so much better. Yeah, I think that little bit more salt just helps to bring out the flavour. So we need something to set this in. You could use a pan. I'm going to use a Tupperware container. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to turn the heat off. Right now it's like a soft version of, I don't know, some sort of like flavoured soft cheese you'd get in the shops. So we're just going to pop that into our little Tupperware container. Just gonna try and flatten this out. You could of course mold this into all sorts of different shapes. I mentioned at the top of this video that I reckon this makes a really good dipping cheese as well. It reminds me of like a sweet chili Philly or a Philadelphia cream cheese. So you could always put some sweet chili sauce on top of it. So you could almost put in a little round mold as well, and you could achieve the same sort of effect. Would be really cool. Right here, we're just gonna give it a bit of a bang on the bench. Cool. And there you go. There's your little beautiful cashew cheese, which I'm gonna pop in the fridge now until it's all set, and then we'll come back and see what it tastes like.